bring the sideburns up too.
All right, a little bit, yeah.
About my bottom of my earlobe, I guess.
All right, what we're gonna do here is it's called a pompadour. A lot of punk rockers and like a lot of 50s style do it. This is Chip, awesome man. He does it. He actually has the best pomp in all of Miami until his hair goes really long. So we're gonna cut his hair, see what's up. He's also played in a lot of great bands. What bands you played in?
I was in Destro, All Hell Breaks Loose, Until the End, Where Fear and Weapons Meet. What the hell else have I been in? Currently on Bodies and Hard Pressed.
So you played? What's the best show you've been to?
It was pretty cool. I mean, Hellfest 2001 was pretty amazing. Seeing Hatebreed in front of, Hatebreed had gotten to, at that point, they'd already gotten to the point where they were pretty big, so they weren't really playing a whole lot of hardcore shows anymore, but like to have them come in and play in front of 1,000 hardcore kids was pretty amazing.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, Hatebreed is it's one of my favorite bands.
I saw them with Despair in '97 at Cheers, which was pretty amazing. Earth Crisis at Cheers was pretty awesome. Seeing Morning Again every weekend down here was pretty incredible.
That's crazy, man.
And, I mean, it was pretty much a weekend from like '96 to '97 where Morning Again and Shiloh would play pretty much once a month. Like in the mid-90s, it was great. It was just every weekend there was something going on. A lot of kids at every show. We had a reputation amongst everybody coming down that we were known as like the Miami Kickboxing League. Everybody wanted to come down to shows here, and all the bands wanted to come down and play. It was just great. You get 200, 250 kids every show, and it was just really cool. Everybody was friendly with each other. You rarely saw any fights. If you did see a fight, it was generally kids who didn't normally go to shows. Getting into it with the Hialeah kids mainly.
Who are the Hialeah kids?
The Hialeah, all the kids from Brethren.
The Enemy and Brethren?
Yeah, Harold and the guys from Out of Spite, and Javier from Brethren, Alex Roundhouse, all those kids.
Do you love the South Florida hardcore scene?
What's that?
Do you like the South Florida hardcore scene alive?
I love it. That's why I came back, man. I love it down here.
And then you came back. Did you leave at one point?
Well, I left. I moved to Tallahassee for a few years to go back to school, and Tallahassee was really cool. Kids are really, really cool. They're just the scene was very young. I mean, I would go and I'd feel real old. I mean, the average age was generally about 15 to like 20. I had a buddy up there that was a good friend of mine still. He was at the time, I guess, when I was living up there, he was probably like 23, 24, and he was considered old.
Wow.
So.
That's crazy. We played Tallahassee a few times, man. Always a good time.
Yeah, Tallahassee was awesome. I really enjoyed living there. The scene was really cool. Kids are really cool.
Tallahassee was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
I heard you talking about Cheers. Can you explain what Cheers was?
Cheers was the club down here. It was on US 1 and 17th.
In front of Cazola's, right?
Right across the street from Cazola's. I think it's a Quiznos now. And it was pretty much from 95 to 90, like the end of the summer of 97, it was the club in South Florida. It was pretty much, it was kind of like our equivalent of CBGB's. It was, everybody wanted to play there. It was like a big deal if you got to play there. The woman who owned it, Gay, was just so awesome. She was just really, really cool. She wasn't like every other club owner who, was basically walking around making sure kids were behaving. She was real friendly. She made it a point to go and make friends with everybody. And, on like I was saying earlier about the Hatebreed show, when they played there, it was the last show that they were having. It was them in Despair, and she just didn't care. She just was like, you know what, this is the last show we're gonna have here. You guys can destroy the place. So it's pretty much guys like Jesse Rivera and Ray Coma and stuff jumping over the bar, grabbing bags of ice, throwing them across the wall, across the room, taking stools and smashing them against the wall. So it was just. I hid behind an amp for that show. I feared for my life at that show.
Played that?
It was Despair, which is Scott Vogel's band before Buried Alive, and Hatebreed and Chagrin, who became Promise No Tomorrow. They're a local band. But it was the place, man. It was great. Anybody that was anybody during that time came through. I mean, you would have like AFI played there, Blink 182 played there, Earth Crisis, Damnation, Hatebreed, Ignite, Weston. Texas is the reason. Anybody who was in the punk and hardcore world, if you were anybody, you played there. And it was
Hatebreed.
Amazing. Hatebreed, I saw that. It's like I can talk to somebody who's 16 just getting into hardcore, and they can check out a band like Foundation, or even like Rival Mob or something, and hear it, and it's completely new and fresh to them, and you know, if they're still going to shows and listening to hardcore 10 years from now, that's probably what they're going to say is what their favorite bands are, you know, because that's what they first got into. And I still feel the same way, because the stuff that I listen to now mainly is still the stuff that I first started listening to back in, you know, 95 and 96. I really felt like bands back then had a message, and they weren't really so much angry for the sake of being angry, which a lot of, you know, bands, not so much now, but, you know, in the past have done. I run a website called Stuck in the Past, which is mainly focuses on 90s hardcore, and through doing that, I'd met a lot of kids from other countries, from Europe, from Australia, from Japan, from South America, and you know, I realized that a lot of them play in really good bands, but just nobody in America gets to hear them.
Yeah, so that's a big issue, man, because there's a lot of great bands out there.
There really are, you know, and some of them don't sing in English, so a lot of kids, you know, here won't really take the time to check them out. And so I started, you know, I started buying, you know, the music from the labels and trying to sell it here, but you know, the problem is that even if it's readily available over here, which I was making it, the kids still just won't take a chance on trying something that they've never heard of. Take Offense or Bitter End are probably like the three like newer bands that I listen to the most.
Yeah.
I just, you know, I just feel like they go out there and they give it 100% every time that I've seen them.
And it's not choreographed.
And it's not choreographed. They're just all around great bands.
Sorry for cutting you off.
Bring it up to about like just about the earlobe right there, you know? Like
Down here, yeah.
Take some of that off there.
Right there?
You can go a little bit higher than that, actually. I think kids are way too concerned with like what's cool and what's not. You know, they go to shows to buy merch just to flip it.
Yeah, a lot of people.
You know, I mean, which you know, like I understand. You know, people got to get paid. I understand that, but at the same time, you went and just bought a brand new T-shirt for $10, and now you're selling it for $150 on eBay. That's just not right. You know, I think kids are way too concerned with that. It's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like a status symbol type thing, and I think it's pretty awful. But I mean, there's a lot of great bands out there that are out there doing their thing, touring, being supportive of the other bands that are out there, and you know, people out there like Joe Hardcore, who goes and absolutely, I can't imagine, he must lose his mind every year trying to put on, you know, the fests. You know, the guys out west who do Sound and Fury.
Rainfest in Seattle.
Yeah, Rainfest. I think it's Zach who does that.
Good dude.
You know, these guys are going and putting, you know, so much effort into, you know, supporting their scene and keeping it going because it's what they love doing.
I think you're a barber. You don't do a straight razor. You ain't no barber. I'm sorry. You're a stylist, exactly what Chip said. This is the finished product. It looks super, super clean. It's a pomp. Not a lot of people grow it out this long. I wish more people would, but some people are scared.
Gotta be patient, kids.
Gotta be patient. It's really hard to do, but super clean.
2 hours. Rock.
I mean, I keep getting my hair to
That's a pomp right there. 305 status. Miami. For anybody else that wants to get a cool haircut, it could be a fade or anything else, you can come to me. My name's Hamlet. Thank you for watching the show. Thank you, Chip, for coming.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for cutting my hair.
All right, take care now. Bye-bye.